Welcome to The Explainer. So glad you're joining us today. You know, have you ever found yourself right in the middle of a conversation and you just completely freeze up? You're standing there frantically trying to translate every single word in your head before you actually speak. It is literally so frustrating, right? The moment just passes you by. Well, you are definitely not alone. Today, we're completely transforming how you process language. We're going to build a brand new framework in your mind. This is your definitive fluency playbook for training your brain to think directly in English.
So let's start with the elephant in the room. Why exactly do you freeze up? I really want to address this right off the bat because so many of us feel a deep insecurity here. We kind of think freezing means we just aren't good at languages. But honestly, that's simply not true. You freeze because of a processing delay. Think about it. When you think in your native language first, your brain is actually working twice as hard. It's building a whole sentence in one language and then trying to find the exact matching puzzle pieces in English. It's exhausting. And let's be real, direct translations usually just don't make sense in an actual conversation anyway.
Okay, let's dive into this. The old way, translating in your head, is a total trap. It's exactly what causes that awkward delay. But this new way, it changes everything. When you train yourself to think directly in English, you literally eliminate that middle step. Direct cognitive processing completely solves the delay, and the results are wild. Words come to you faster, your speaking speed naturally ramps up, and your confidence absolutely skyrockets because you weren't stuck in those long, painful pauses. Plus, when you process English directly, your listening and pronunciation just naturally improve because your brain is getting used to the actual sounds and structures.
Here is exactly what we're covering in today's explainer. First, the translation trap. Second, identifying roadblocks. Third, our core 6 steps to English thinking. Fourth, daily fluency habits. And finally, overcoming challenges.
All right, let's get into section 1, roadblocks, the mistakes blocking your fluency. Before we can build up those brilliant new habits, we kind of need to do a little demolition. We've got to identify and remove the bad habits acting as massive barricades. There are 4 really common ones. First, obviously, relying on translation. If you're always translating, your brain never learns to just grab the English words directly. Second, and this is a huge one, overthinking grammar. So many of us pause to mentally check rules, trying to make the sentence absolutely flawless in our heads before we open our mouths. Doing that completely kills natural fluency. Native speakers just speak, and guess what? They make grammar mistakes all the time. Third is a fear of making mistakes, which just totally paralyzes you. And fourth, a lack of English immersion. If your daily life is entirely in your native language, your brain is just going to default to it.
Relying on translation and overthinking grammar, well, it's basically like riding a bike with training wheels forever. If you never take those training wheels off, you're never going to find your own balance. By obsessing over perfect translations, you are literally preventing your brain from ever trusting itself to just form sentences naturally. You got to take the wheels off, embrace the wobble for a bit, and really trust the process.
Moving on to section 2, the core strategy, 6 steps to English thinking.
So, to get those training wheels off, we start incredibly simple. Step 1, just naming objects. Then we build up to talking out loud to ourselves. Next, we completely change our dictionary habits. Step 4 is all about managing complexity. Step 5 takes those outward thoughts and turns them into an inner dialogue. And finally, step 6 is creating that environment of total immersion. Let's look at how this builds step by step.
Let's see how this works from the ground up. Step 1, start small. Actually, do this with me right now. Look around the room you're sitting in and just point to things in your head. Bed, window, lamp. It sounds almost too simple, doesn't it? But what you're actually doing here is bypassing your native language entirely. You're associating the physical object directly with the English word. Once you get the hang of that, you expand it into a short action, like I am drinking coffee from my cup. You are fundamentally wiring your everyday reality directly into English. Now, step 3 is a total game changer. You need to use an English-to-English dictionary. Look, when you come across a word you don't know, let's say excited, your first instinct is probably to look up the exact translation in your native language. Don't do it. Use an English dictionary instead. You read the definition, feeling very happy and eager. See what happens there? This creates internal connections in English. It forces your brain to stay right there in English mode to understand the concept, entirely shutting down that translation trap we talked about earlier.
Step 4 is all about keeping things simple. A massive mistake learners make is trying to think in complex, compound sentences way too soon. They try to think, I should go to the store because I need to buy some vegetables for dinner. Honestly, that is way too heavy. Your brain gets overwhelmed and immediately defaults back to translating. Keep it simple. Just think, I need vegetables.
Don't overcomplicate things too soon. As you get comfortable with these short, punchy bursts, your sentences are naturally going to expand over time.
Which brings us to Section 3, Daily Fluency Habits.
Because knowing the steps just isn't enough, right? We have to build undeniable routines. The real magic happens when these steps become permanent habits. In the morning, the second you wake up, think of your plans in English. Just, today is Monday, I have a meeting. Then, during the day, try the 30-minute strict no translation challenge. For half an hour, completely banish your native language from your mind. Talk aloud to yourself while you're making tea or driving. And then, in the evening, bookend your day in English. Review what happened, or better yet, jot it down in a simple English journal. Starting and ending your day in English sets an incredibly powerful subconscious pattern for your brain.
And finally, Section 4, Overcoming Learning Challenges.
Look, we all know it won't always be a smooth ride. Getting stuck, feeling slow, or feeling like you've hit a plateau, that is completely 100% normal. It literally happens to every single language learner. So here is a brilliant troubleshooting tip for when you inevitably hit a wall and forget a word mid-thought. Say you forget the word refrigerator. Your instinct is going to be to stop everything and translate. Stop doing that. Instead, use a description workaround. Just use the simple English words you already know to describe the object. It's a cold box where I keep food. This keeps your brain actively working in English mode, it maintains the flow of your thoughts, and it totally prevents that frustrating freezing we talked about at the very beginning.
Always remember this. Fluency comes with practice, not perfection. Consider this your official permission to fail. Seriously, I want you to make grammar mistakes. I want you to sound a little silly talking out loud to yourself in your kitchen. Because making those mistakes while consistently practicing, that is literally the only way your brain will ever get comfortable. Perfection is just an illusion that holds you back. Practice is the reality that pushes you forward. So, I'm going to leave you with this final provocative thought. What is one tip from this explainer that you are going to try today? Are you going to do the 30-minute challenge? Are you going to buy an English-to-English dictionary? I invite you to pick just one thing, implement it right now, and track your progress over the next week. You will be absolutely amazed at how quickly your brain adapts. Thank you so much for joining me for this explainer. Keep practicing, embrace that messy middle, and I can't wait to see you for our next deep dive.